Greetings and salutations, every pony. This is Black Cloak Brony coming to you straight from the Canterlot Tower. It is approximately midday Equestrian Standard Time on this lovely Friday afternoon, and it's time to begin the first ever broadcast of the Brony Zone. That's right. As of today, the Brony Zone is officially alive and kicking. And what a show I have for you today, fillies and gentle colts. Our wide range of topics kicks off with a small recap of some of the highlights of BronyCon, followed with some minor convention news. After that, we move right into the music with some news about some of the many Brony musicians, which we will then follow up with a few community thoughts, as well as news on a new project that seems to have popped up in the community. We'll then close the show with a few different recommendations for new members of the herd and veteran bronies alike. Alright, enough tapping my hoof and reading the list. Let's start the show.
Yo, it's me.
Alright, so as many as you bronies out there know, BronyCon Summer 2012 opened its doors last weekend for what was sure to be one hell of a gathering, and it did not disappoint. According to my inside source, Cosmic Waltz, there was a whopping 4,000 brony turnout at the con, which was a major boost in numbers from the previous, which clocked in at around 700 participants. From the highlights, on the first night there was a charity auction where half of all money received went to a children's charity group called Child's Play. The number one item was a poster from the first BronyCon, signed by most of the voice actors, and signed on stage at the time of the auction by Lauren Faust herself, which went for a whopping $4,050. After the auction, the Living Tombstone and several other brony musicians took over and rocked the stage until late in the night. And one other point of interest was Lauren Faust's panel, which ended in the presentation of the My Little Pony Create poster, a 5-foot by 5-foot poster, which I'm told, that had finally been pushed into print on Lauren's behalf. The second day brought about a more interesting story when all con participants were asked to evacuate due to a safety hazard created by what I was told was a melted light fixture. Every pony exited in an orderly fashion, and while outside, sang songs and cheered for the firefighters. You know, I gotta say, I absolutely love this fan base. As for upcoming cons, there are a few of note. Next in line is TrotCon 2012 being held at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. The con will be running July 21st through the 23rd, and while I have been unable to confirm a guest list, one name that has come up is the notorious Hot Diggity Demon, a YouTuber known by many of the bronies for his work on the Pony MOV series, which is actually only one episode away from completion. I'll be keeping an eye on this con, and will have any other updates I can find for all you patient ponies at next week's show. Some other con news of note is what's happening at the first annual Everfree Northwest Con that is being held at two different venues in Seattle, Washington. The con begins August 17th and will be running through the 19th with a good group of special guests, including the talented Tabitha St. Germain, voice actor for both Rarity and Princess Luna. At this time, registration is closed for the con and both venues are booked solid, but I'll be keeping you updated in each show if that changes. And that's all I have for brony-themed conventions at this time. I'm going to take a brief intermission and enjoy a refreshing glass of cider courtesy of Sweet Apple Acres. While I'm doing that, I have a great musical number I'd like to share with every pony. This song helped me embrace my brony side and is what inspired me to really put more into the community. Fillies and gentle colts, this is Are You Proud to Be a Brony by Gabriel Brown.
while ago if you would ask me what I watch in my spare time. Though I probably wouldn't tell you what was really on my mind. But lately I've been thinking of a reason I should hide the failures of dimension that were painful when it feels so good inside. What can I mention? Fluttershy and a timid love named mine. How she can be herself near animals, so shies away from her own kind. What can I mention? Picky pie and the way she kind of acts a bit like me sometimes. You see, I used to hate that I liked My Little Pony. Not anymore. And I'm proud to be a brony.
Can't hear you. Oh my gosh. This is wild. You rock. Your faithful student, Twilight is back. Can you explode twice? It needs to be about 20% cooler. Are you?
I don't want to talk about it.
And they try to make me feel embarrassed. Their attempts have been in vain. Though they tell me I'm the one with problems, they're the ones who are insane. So for those who watch but won't admit it, well, you shouldn't be like that, 'cause you could be 20% cooler. 10 seconds fly. Why don't you mention Rainbow Dash and her acrobatic skill? How she will try off in anything just to get a little thrill. Why don't you mention Applejack with the powder of its southern style power of will? See, you don't have to fake that you hate My Little Pony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout it out. I'm proud to be a brony, yeah. I'm proud to be My Little Pony. I used to wonder what friendship could be. My Little Pony. Do you all share its magic with me? Winter apple, winter apple. There's your holiday. Winter apple, winter apple. The patterns of my skin is the fabric of my winter apple. The colors that show water and skin picture. My cupcakes, cupcakes, well, I'm gonna mention Rarity. She's also ladylike, but even though she's prim and proper, she couldn't make it in a fight. And I'm gonna mention Twilight. She's kind of dirty, puts her power tucked away, but taking Ursa any day. How about you? Would you do what I do or be phony? I'm asking you now. You proud to be a brony? You proud to be a brony?
Once again, that was Are You Proud to Be a Brony by Gabriel Brown, and all I have to say to that is yes, I am extremely proud to be a brony. Next up here on the Brony Zone are a few announcements and fun projects coming up on behalf of some of our many musical artists. For today's show, I have some updates on what's cooking with the Living Tombstone, as well as a special donation drive being run by the one and only Mike the Microphone. Let's get started! Alright, so about a month ago I had the pleasure of sitting down with Tombstone and interviewing him on his work as a musician and his involvement in the Brony community. The highlight of the interview was what he told me of his upcoming projects. He currently has 3 of note, 2 of which are individual songs, and the final is really something worth looking at. Tombstone is currently in the process of creating a song in collaboration with Glaze, also known as Wooden Toaster, about the story of a lesser-known background pony called Screwloose. Screwloose appeared in Season 2 in the Rainbow Dash focused episode Read It and Weep. She appears during the chase scene, barking at RD, and Tombstone thought it would be interesting to dive into the story of the only seemingly crazy pony in the show. His second project is a song about the fan favorite Princess Luna and what became of her during her 1,000 years in exile on the moon. Last but certainly not least, Tombstone has announced that he is producing a CD of all new content, which he will be releasing in the coming months for $5 a copy on iTunes. If you are interested in hearing the rest of the interview, I have it posted on my channel and will leave a link in the description box below. Moving on to another important matter, Mike the Microphone is currently holding a donation drive, which he has been announcing alongside his epic pony rap battles of Equestria videos. Mike had an accident a little while ago and as a result suffered injuries to his eye. The damage done is reversible, but as many of you may know, surgery isn't cheap. So Mike has decided to try and enlist the help of his fellow bronies. I will have the link to his PayPal marked in the description and urge every pony who can spare it to help out our friend and get his eye fixed up. Alright, well that's all the news I have from the Brony musicians. We're going to take another short break before we move into the community discussion of the day. And with that, I've yet another song to pass along. This is a great little number by Mike the Microphone himself called Been Dreamin'. Hope you enjoy.
Been dreaming, I've been waiting to fly with those great ponies. The wonderfuls, their daring tricks, spinning round and having hits. Perform for crowds of thousands, they'll shower us with diamonds. The wonderfuls will see me ride here at the
Ever since I was a boy, I swore to the gods above I would rise above the adversity and show them love. I felt the beat in my chest, I felt the bass pumping, make my heart keep bumping and thumping. That shit was really something. I knew just what I would do. I told my bro and said, I wanna rap like you, bro. He said the rap is dead, but I knew in my heart that if I kept on trying, I would go and soar to the top and keep this rap from dying. Then I was 15 years old, I finally had my chance. I took my place on the stage and fell into a trance. I couldn't keep up the pace, I fell right off of the beat. I felt the stares and the scowls, I felt them giving me heat. I always said to myself, I wouldn't try to make it. I told myself I'm not worth it, no one will ever take it. And then I found out your ponies, the beat, it finally began. It's my jam, my final fantasy, my dreaming can end.
Been dreaming, I've been waiting to fly with those great ponies. The wonderfuls, their daring tricks, spinning round and having hits. Perform for crowds of thousands, they'll shower us with diamonds. The wonderfuls will see me right here at the
It feels so surreal to be the guy that's talking about an EQD's front page. The rap was bossing. I put my heart and my soul into that track, and now I'm sitting here so stunned. It's like the cockatrices caught me walking. I felt like fucking around. I was so fucking happy. I really wanted to cry like Fluttershy, I'm sappy. But now I'm back in my game. Ain't got no reason to feel bad. I feel sad. I'm gonna keep on spitting and make you feel glad. I started 2 months ago. I made the sonic rhyme boot. I had my boy bring the lulls. Say, man, you're gonna fly soon. It only took me a month to make my way to the peak. I can't speak. I'm just so blown away. It's hard just to think. I feel unstoppable. Break walls like Rainbow Dash. I feel the joy in my heart. Feel fun like Pinky Smash. And with my boys at my side, there ain't no shit we can't climb. Yes, it's time to thank my viewers. You all inspire my rhymes.
Been dreaming, I've been waiting to fly with those great ponies. The wonderfuls, their daring tricks, spinning round and having hits. Perform for crowds of thousands, they'll shower us with diamonds. The wonderfuls will see me right here at the gala.
This has been fun, guys. Mike the mic out.
Man, I absolutely love that song. Mike the Mic, if you're listening, thank you so much for constantly making some great music like that. For anyone new to the herd, Mike the Microphone has a lot of different things on his page. He's got his music, and he actually has a lot of absolutely hilarious fan fiction readings. Some of them are a little bit inappropriate for the younger fillies, so I recommend just keeping that in mind, but all in all, it's some absolutely fantastic stuff and really funny to listen to. Anyways, moving on up to the general discussion topics of the day. I actually came across something really interesting the other day. It's called the Island of Equestria Project. For any pony out there that hasn't heard of this yet, which I imagine would be quite several because it seems like it's a relatively new thing, it's a group that's trying to raise at minimum $600,000 to purchase an island in the name of the Brony community and call it Equestria. They plan, depending on the amount they make, they'll buy an island or they'll buy a bigger one if they make more money. But the general overview is they want to buy this island, call it Equestria, and have it available just purely for Brony use, whether that be for conventions, meetups, perhaps like a resort getaway sort of thing. They really kind of left it open to the imagination. And when I first saw this, I thought it was actually really cool and an interesting idea. And I passed it along to a co-host of mine named Fur Coat Philly. You'll hear from her a little bit later. And she actually brought up some really interesting points on the ethical aspect of having something like this. I'll leave most of it to her, but the general thing she brought up was that, why put so much money into something that she sees will only be popular and worth maintaining for all of maybe 20 or 30 years, if that, when that money can be put to a bunch of other things. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and bring her on the line so she can give her opinion of the whole thing. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I have with me now my co-host Fur Coat Philly. Say hi, Fur Coat.
Hello.
All right, so I was just telling everybody about the Island of Equestria project, and I gave them kind of a brief intro on the whole ethical thing you were talking about. So, I mean, what do you think? Here we have three guys came together, decided, you know what? Let's do something cool for the community, and, came up with this project asking for 600 grand to build an island, maybe get a boat to go out to the island and set up the monument that Celestia raises the sun from the Cutie Mark Chronicles episode. I mean, what are your thoughts on all this? I'm curious.
Well, I don't like it. I mean, it's all for what they want to do. I mean, they like it. They can go ahead and do it. But I think it's a little bit going over the top. I honestly think buying an island and a boat to go out to that island to make that monument all within $6,000 is a little bit far-fetched.
But, I think the thought behind it is actually, it's a nice idea in theory. They basically just want to use it for, say, hosting conventions or having it as like, a meetup spot for maybe a camping trip for bronies or, down the line, maybe turn it into a resort or something. I mean,
yeah.
the intention's there.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, I think it would make a little bit more sense if it wasn't on an island and it was more along the lines of in the actual, like where there's more people. Like if you drive by it, you'll have more of a chance of going near it than you would if it was out in the middle of an ocean.
Okay, I see the point there. Problem is, with bronies all across the world, I mean, where would you put it? Would you put it in the U.S.? Would you put it in Europe? I mean, there's so many options with mainland area, and I think their reasoning behind it is because I believe it's actually easier to find an island to get a hold of rather than a large location of land that would work for everybody. Every pony, excuse me. But, yeah, I guess what it comes down to is the fact that...
I mean, I think that, you might be right about, like, if the international, like, with everybody internationally, it's better if it was, like, on an island. But I think that if you have, like, it depends on who you're targeting it to. I mean, if you're targeting it to the whole nation, I would say put it somewhere where, in the nation, like not like an island that's not an island. You know what I mean, right? Like,
well, they're targeting
in a more public area.
Right, but what they're targeting is just strictly the brony community. This is literally the base idea. It's here's something by bronies, for the purpose of anything brony related. Kind of is a shout out, I guess you could say, or a legacy, but, I guess what it comes down to, and the point that you made earlier before I brought you on the air, is just 600 grand. Obviously, buying an island isn't a cheap endeavor by any stretch, but 600 grand for an island for bronies, while really great in theory, I think your main point was that money could be better spent elsewhere, or that you were worried that it would go to
Yes.
waste over time. I mean, what about all
I
that?
mean, I love My Little Pony. To the end of days, I will. And I love it to death, but I think this is going a little bit too far. Example, who from over in Europe, no matter what it is, who from over in Europe would come to America just to see this one monument that doesn't do anything?
Well,
I mean, unless there's a huge convention there.
well, I guess the thing is, the monument is the one thing they want to put on there just as a starting point. But their overall hope is that they can make enough money with this, or get enough donations over time, that they can expand, maybe actually have buildings made that are from the show, and have it basically a little Equestria. Maybe have like a canner lot in one little spot and a little mini version of Ponyville over in another area. Like I said, they leave it really open to interpretation, and every pony listening, I'll have a link to the whole thing in the description so you can take a look for yourselves. But, it's not just the monument. It's more the concept behind the monument, the unity of the Brony community for this purpose that they believe is really a great idea. So,
But what about this? They have a BronyCon too, don't they?
well, yes, they
So-
do have the BronyCon, and they have all
Well,
the other
then
conventions.
why would you need to? I'm saying that if they make this one monument, and let's say they make this one monument, and it takes them 5 more years to make the rest of Equestria on this one island. What my problem is don't they have already a BronyCon and other Brony communities that come together as one thing? Why spend so much money on that?
You-
And that's just how I see it. I mean, everybody's probably going to disagree with me, but that's just how I see it.
Well, you never know. I'm sure there are probably actually several of us out there that would actually agree with you. I mean, 600 grand can go a long, long way. I mean, I was talking about this earlier at BronyCon. They had a whole auction of stuff, and half of all the money they made went to a children's charity group. Like I said, this is an interesting concept, and at first glance looks really cool. But at the end of the day, you're putting $600 into an island that, how long is it?
Not everybody can get to.
Right. Not everybody can get to, but, knowing how supportive this community would be, that's probably like the least of our worries with this. And now I'm not trashing the idea for every pony listening. It does sound interesting, but my, fur coat here raised a lot of
Yes,
points, and it
it
really got
does.
me thinking. So,
I,
go ahead.
I'm not bashing it at all. I think it's a little far-fetched for the Brony community.
Yeah,
And
probably.
I mean, hey, if it's something they want to do, go ahead and do it. I'm not in control of your 600 grand. I'm just.
So for every pony listening, I'm
Okay.
going to be posting the link in the description. And you know what? Let's pose the question to you guys. It's an interesting idea. Do you think it's a smart option, or do you think that 600 grand would be better spent elsewhere? Maybe just some charity event on behalf of the Bronies. Put our name out there in a positive light when people have been giving us a negative spin. Fox News, one aspect, which I know is a terrible example because, I personally could care less what Fox has to say, but you get the idea. We have trouble with people portraying us way different than we're meant to be. So I throw that out there to all of you. The email address is askblackcloakbrony@yahoo.com. I'll have that in the description. Send us your comments, send us your thoughts, and, I'll probably read off some of the best responses in next week's show. Anyways, I think that will go ahead and close it up for this little discussion. Fur Coat, anything left to say?
Actually, I had a few questions, if that's all right with you.
Well, you know what? I've got the time, so let's open it up to a couple questions.
okay, it's just basic, pony related things. Like, good example, what was your favorite episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic?
Oh wow. Okay, well, ladies and gentle fillies and gentle colts, I guess we're moving on to an Ask Black Cloak Brony. So let's go ahead and run through this little impromptu
Oh
session,
yeah.
Sal. Okay. So, what was the question again?
What is your favorite My Little Pony episode?
Okay, this is a tough one. I mean, every pony probably has several favorite episodes. The one that really comes to mind, it's really a hard pick, I gotta say. But right now, and I'll probably do a more analytical aspect later so I can really give you the honest answer, but at the top of my mind right now, it's the season 2 finale. No holds barred
Yeah.
by far. The songs.
My favorite has to be well, I mean, the songs meant well in the last episode. The songs were kind of to me. I didn't like them as much as I like the Smile song. Like Pinkie Pie is like my favorite character now, so that'll change by next week. Trust me. Um, so but yeah, the last episode of the second season was okay to me, but it wasn't the greatest thing in the world for me. I mean, my favorite one is the episode with Pinkie Pie where she sings the Smile song, and only because of the Smile song. The songs are what bring the whole episode together.
I completely agree. Anyways, let's go ahead and keep this short, Fur Coat, because I don't want to get too into just your and I interest. After all, this is for every pony. So,
Exactly.
all right, moving on to the next part of our discussion here. As many of you may know, and anybody who's new to the fandom will probably be hearing this a lot, the adopted really catchphrase of the Brony community seems to have become love and tolerate, which I personally think is a fantastic splay on the general idea. I mean, we are a very loving and friendly community. I personally find it fantastic that a lot of us out there, the guys especially, we're really challenging some serious gender stereotypes watching this show. I mean, you're always going to get your haters and your trolls, and that's just something you're going to have to deal with. But we're making a difference in our own way, and of course, it's all thanks to Hasbro and specifically Lauren Faust for giving us My Little Pony and making this possible. But, looping it back to the main point, love and tolerance. Is there a time when it's not okay to love and tolerate? I mean, people are always like, oh, yeah, those flamers and their haters, just, love and tolerate. I believe the term is love and tolerate the crap out of them, which, as mentioned in my my interview with Tombstone, he put it quite well that sounds almost attacking. So, I pose the question to every pony, and Fur Coat, I'd love to hear your take on this. Is there a time when love and tolerance can be a bad thing? Is there too much love and tolerance?
That is a good question. I honestly think I'm all for the love and tolerance, but some people do take it a little bit, like, I mean, like, not the people that are love and tolerating, but like others, like people that are flaming in the Brony community. It's them taking it a little bit too far, I think.
Taking it too far in what aspect? Is in they're like turning it around on us, or they're being too aggressive?
Like they would push yes, exactly. They're being a little bit too aggressive, and I think love and tolerance comes to a point when I think love and tolerance stops, and I think you should be a little bit like defensive when they start being insulting to you, your personal preference, anything like that, just because you're a brony. And I honestly think that, you shouldn't love and tolerate somebody who's hurting you and they're trying to hurt you. I honestly think that love and tolerating the crap out of every troll and person out there that doesn't like bronies isn't a best thing to do.
Well, of course, but then again, what you got to remember, like I said, you're making great points, problem is, we have no control over what these flamers and haters are gonna do. You know the term, haters
Yes.
gonna hate. It's gonna happen. The
Yep.
what matters is, how do you handle it? Do you take the love and tolerance approach? Do you not necessarily reason with them, but my favorite term, kill them with kindness. Is that what it comes down to, or do you finally just
And-
say, you're being stupid,
Well-
get out of my face?
I don't think that. This is what I think. I mean, nobody has to agree with me at all. But I think, I mean, if they say something to hurt you, you shouldn't be nice to them. You should be offended. It's a natural emotion to be offended if somebody says, "Oh, bleh." And
Well, I guess
You
the
shouldn't-
question is, it's not a matter of whether you're
Like-
offended or not. Basically, what I'm trying to put out there is just food for thought for every pony, something to chew on alongside your hay every day, is, people are going to say stuff that's offensive and, can be insulting. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen it on a lot of other people's pages, and it's just a matter of how you handle it. I mean, I've seen people that take the aggressive approach, and it just feeds the trolls. And I've seen people who take passive approaches that will get pretty much the same result. But the thing I've noticed is that those that take the love and tolerance aspect, like, say for lack of a better term, some troll shows up on your MLP, your music video that you made or your song that you created, and it's just like, oh, this is terrible, ponies suck, and you're a horrible person for creating this. It's, how do you handle it, really? It's not, you're going to be like, well, you're stupid. Clearly this is just something for fun. But
well, anybody could react. Anybody can react their own way. I mean, some person might take it as, like, some people might, like, retaliate in a hurtful way, and some people just might be like, oh, well, we're about love and tolerance. I'm not going to do anything, and I'm just going to let you, push me over. Like, not saying that love and tolerance makes you a pushover, but I would say, like, if somebody did that to me, and I think that most of the people I know, if somebody said that to them, it would probably be like an ignoring type of situation. Like, just ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I think of it. Like, I'd get offended, yes, but, and I think anybody would, like, hey, you suck for making this, get the hell off this planet. But, it's just, ignore them. That's what I say, just ignore them.
Just leave them there and let the comment die out.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think that's some actually fairly decent advice. And again, I pose this to every pony listening. If you'd like, again, the email is askblackcloakbrony@yahoo.com. Send in your thoughts. If you have any experience with trolls that have come up and, tried to attack you, your stories could definitely help out other people. So we always love hearing what you all have to say. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to wrap up this love and tolerance discussion. I think that's gone on long enough. One last thing for the community section, which I love to talk about because it's so funny to see how worked up people get. Not in a bad way, mind you, just funny to see. And that is the never-ending question, who is best pony? And I really have nothing more to say than, is there a best pony? I mean, Fur Coat, I'm sure you've got plenty to say on this, right?
Yes, I do. Everybody has their personal opinion. And are we talking about the main six, or are we talking about just in general, like, all ponies?
Oh, we're talking all over. We're talking, Trixie is best pony. What? No, Pinky is best pony. Rainbow Dash. Lyra, for example.
Right.
And I know
Right,
that
yeah.
more often than not, you'll find this as just kind of a playful back and forth banter. But I've actually seen people get into really, really heated discussions about this.
Yes, and I'm surprised about that. I've seen, like, people give off reasons why, Pinkie Pie is better than Fluttershy. Not saying that they are, not saying that they aren't.
Mhm.
Like, I see people, oh, she makes people smile, so she's a better pony. But Fluttershy takes care of animals. Does Pinkie Pie do that? It's like, they'll go back and forth at it. And it's like, you guys are both ponies,
Love and tolerate, people. Love and tolerate.
Yes, yeah. And that's, I don't know. I mean, it's a hard decision for me. I love all ponies. All ponies are my friend.
Well, just for curiosity's sake, in your mind, you personally, who is best pony?
Who is my favorite pony?
Yep, who's your favorite? Let's hear it.
My favorite, I have to say, I have to say Fluttershy is my favorite.
Just lost connection.
No.
Oh, Amber, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. All right, we lost her for a second, but we got her back. Anyways, you answered Fluttershy. See, me personally, I'm swerving back and forth between Applejack or Rainbow Dash because I think they're both awesome.
Yeah.
But anyways, our personal interests aside, it's just really kind of interesting to see. And I urge every pony out there to just, take a look at that. Everybody's going to have their idea of who is best pony, and why the others are not the best for whatever reason. And I just urge all of you, if you're having this discussion and it's a friendly thing, fantastic. If you see it getting heated, keep an eye on that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something to take a look at and see, how much, does this play into things? Like, is it really that important that someone else's idea of who is best pony is the same as mine? Anyways, that was just kind of my 2 cents on that. I wanted to throw that in there. All right. With that, I think we are done with just general topics at this time. For every pony out there, if there's something in the fandom you want to see discussed or looked into, I'm really trying to get more community-generated content on the show just so that it's not all about my thoughts and what I want to talk about, and I put it out there to you. Like I said before, askblackcloakbrony@yahoo.com. Send me an email. Ask me a question. Tell me something you want discussed, and I'll see if I can put it into next week's episode. Alrighty. We're going to take a short break, and we'll get back to you guys. We're going to move on to kind of the wrap-up section of the show with the new to fandom, veteran bronies, and fanfic and music recommendations. In the meantime, I advise you all to kick back and listen. I got one more song for you. This is Loyalty by Mando Pony and Acoustic Brony. Enjoy.
I see you below as you walk on by. I can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. Well, how about that? Well, how about that? I could be sitting here on a cloud, watching the sun as it starts to go down. The only thing missing is you by my side. Give me a smidge of confidence. Give me a speck of something that makes sense. Give me an idea of dependency. Give me a dash of loyalty. Loyalty. stay with you. That's why they call me loyalty. Loyalty. The sun shines bright, the rainbows on. Rainbows here 1 minute and then they're gone. They remind me of me and you. What did you do? What did I do? Determination in those eyes. Where has it gone? Has it said goodbye? A lot has happened, but I'll stay by your side. Give me a smidge of confidence. Give me a speck of something that makes sense. Give me an idea of dependency. Give me a dash of loyalty. I can see my lonely soul for you, but the feeling in my heart can't follow through. You can give your broken heart to me, 'cause you know that I'll stay with you. That's why they call me loyalty. Time stands still when you're with me. How can I make you stay? Your crazy antics make me want to scream. Your name so loud till my throat starts to bleed. To bleed. Save my lonely soul for you, but the feeling in my heart can't follow through. You can give your broken heart to me, 'cause you know that I'll stay with you. That's why they call me loyalty. I can save my lonely soul for you, but the feeling in my heart can't follow through. You can give your broken heart to me, 'cause you know that I'll stay with you. That's why they call me. I can see my lonely soul for you, but the feeling in my heart can't follow through. You can give your broken heart to me, 'cause you know that I'll stay with you. That's why they call me loyalty.
Once again, for every pony listening, that was Mando Pony's Loyalty with help from Acoustic Brony. It's a fantastic song, I think. And for any pony interested, I'll have their links in the description below. Go take a look. They've got a lot of really cool things to share. Anyways, we're coming to the end of the show today, so we're going to go ahead and finish up with a couple of short segments of recommendations. These are all generated by myself and Fur Coat Philly for today. Hopefully, with some community participation, we'll have some outside sources on other good recommendations in future shows. Starting off, it's the new to the fandom segment. So for every pony out there that might have gotten, brought to us either by just searching the web or a recommendation from a friend or, possibly Equestria Daily, maybe, who knows. New to the fandom stuff. I just mentioned Equestria Daily. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. It's where a lot of Brony news about events and stuff comes in, as well as a lot of fan fictions, artwork, music. A lot of people will send stuff into them to post that it's all Brony related, and I highly recommend giving it a look. For those of you that are in it for the lulz, there's the My Little Brony meme-based page, which is basically all sorts of My Little Pony-based memes. I love checking that out on a daily basis. There's always something fun and funny to look for. Fur Coat Philly's here with me. Fur Coat, do you have anything else to add?
I think you pretty much, well, yeah, you pretty much took all my ideas. EQD was one of the ones that I was gonna say. Like, if you're new to the fandom and you just found it or you started watching it on TV, I'd say EQD. I mean, I just started going on EQD, and I have been with My Little Pony since like literally week 1, and so I just started going on EQD. It's a really nice place. I mean, if you're a hardcore Brony or if you're just like a Brony in general, you'll feel at home there. You really will.
And one last one I thought of is the Everfree radio show. I'll find the link to that and post that in the description, but it's basically a week-long radio. They have shows running every single day. They were actually some of the main people covering BronyCon for the summer show. A lot of great people there, a lot of big names will either have a show on there or you'll get a lot of good information. So again, Equestria Daily, if you don't have time to listen and just want to browse through stuff, as well as a lot of fan-generated content, and Everfree Radio is another fantastic option. Along with that, we move on into the next segment. I talked about fan content. Fanfic recommendations. This goes a little bit for every pony, whether you're new or old to the fandom. I'm just going to get some of the more commonly known ones done right off the bat. A personal favorite, and I'm sure a lot of ponies will agree with me, though it is so sad, so have a box of tissues ready. Not sad like sad, but sad as in, oh my god, that's so beautiful and hurtful kind of sad. But My Little Dashie is indescribable in the emotions it can pull from you. Fur Coat, have you read it?
Yes, I have.
And what do you have to say?
It's it tugs on your heartstrings. It really does. It's like, and it's sweet. It's sweet, but it's a bittersweet kind of story almost. And it made me cry. It did. And it was a very, very good fanfic, and kudos to who made it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely
love it. It was fantastic.
And also, for any pony who's not a fan of reading, check YouTube. There are plenty of bronies out there that have done readings of this for you, so you can just kick back and listen. That's how I came about hearing it, and I loved it. Another good one of mention, well, not a good one, but another really well-known one is Cupcakes, actually. I personally haven't read or heard about this fan fiction, only because all I've been told about it is it's extremely gory. And as far as I know, Pinkie Pie turns Rainbow Dash into cupcakes. Like I said, if anyone's into the gory stuff, give it a look. If not, and you're just curious, give it a look. I personally have not seen it yet, and I'm not planning on it.
It's not. I read it. I read it over and over and over. It's one of my favorites, and it's not that bad, but it will give you, for a long time, it took me like 2 months to get over it. It will give you a new look on Pinkie Pie. It really will. And then it just go away. It just goes away, and you're like, oh, that's not how Pinkie Pie is. And then you're like, you go back to watching My Little Pony and forgetting about it.
So that's two. The third one that I've heard about, and there's actually a really fantastic song on it done by Glaze, aka Wooden Toaster, Rainbow Factory, which is focused more on Rainbow Dash as the bad guy. Furcoat, have you read that? Because I haven't.
I haven't read that one either. It sounds very good, though. Honestly, I listened to the song first, and the first thing that came to my mind is, you know what? This would be a great story.
Well, apparently you heard the song first, and so have I. So for every pony listening, it's just a matter of, knowing what works for yourself. I've heard it's kind of gory. It might be worth a look. I'm going to take a look at it someday so I can give you some better input on it. Anyways, last thing, talking about Wooden Toaster are music recommendations. I myself am a big music fan, and I know for a fact that, Furcoat Philly here is a music junkie too. So, Furcoat, I'm going to let you go first on this one. What do you got for us?
Actually, I have several. I have several, actually. For those of you who don't know who he is, Mike the Microphone Zero, I should say. Most of you probably do know who he is, but for some of you who don't, he's a very good artist. Be prepared to laugh because for me, he's hilarious. And another person is, he makes a lot of music too. In music, he does a lot of readings. Like, he calls them dramatic readings.
I covered those earlier in the show.
Amazing dramatic voice, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying. Another one that I would highly, highly recommend is The Living Tombstone would probably be the second highest one that I would recommend to any pony for music.
Yep.
He made the ending song for ASDF Movie 5. Actually.
Yeah, ASDF Movie 5. Yeah, no, that's a YouTube phenomenon.
And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'll second that. I'm a huge fan of Mike the Microphone, both his music and his absolutely hilarious dramatic readings. Living Tombstone, again, can't speak good enough about him. Alex S. is another one if you're into techno music or some decent remixes. Alex S. does a lot of that. Another one of note, Sim Gratina. I love the work from Sim Gratina. It's fantastic. I have yet to find one that was really bad, honestly. All remixes, most of it is stuff that she remixes out of the show. And like I said, give it a look. I'll have a link to Sim in the description below. Furcoat, you got anything else?
Glaze is another one.
Glaze.
I was just thinking.
How could I forget Wooden Toaster?
Glaze is another one.
How could I forget Wooden Toaster? No, he's fantastic.
Wooden Toaster. I actually just thought of two more. Actually, three more, I should say. Wow, they're just popping in my head now.
Yep.
Prince Whatever. If you like screamo music, it's some of his songs have like a screamo music type of feel to them. Prince Whatever is the way to go. He made a song that makes me cry every time I listen to it. It's called Between Fairy Tales and Happy Endings, and it's about derpy hooves. And that one makes me cry every time I listen to it. Mondo Pony, that's one of them. I've only listened to some of his music, but he's very good. And Acoustic Brony. I love Acoustic Brony.
Acoustic Brony is fantastic. That's for anybody out there that likes a good mix but enjoys something kind of calm and soothing every now and then. Acoustic Brony is definitely your man when you're going out for that field. Anyways, I think that's good for music recommendations. I think we've given them plenty to think about, right, Furcoat?
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, last thing, I call it the Veteran Brony segment. This is more for any pony in the fandom, new or old. This is stuff that I've seen personally that I don't know if it's that well known, and I think it deserves a little bit more attention. Furcoat has a few of her own recommendations as well. One that I've seen pop up here and there, but I haven't seen enough attention in my mind, is The Doctor and Assistant, which is voice work done by a couple of people as Doctor Hooves and Derpy, which are background characters in the show. And they do a fantastic job of it. From what I've heard, the lady, I'm forgetting her screen name now, but I'll have it posted in the description, is the fanon official voice of Derpy, and she does it very well. I highly recommend that. There are about 5 episodes of it right now. It's almost like old-fashioned radio. It's like where there was no television and you would hear all these stories through the radio. It's that kind of thing, and it's a really great kind of classic feel with a new take. And they take it and run with it. They do a fantastic job. So again, Dr. Hooves and Assistant, great thing to see. Furcoat, did you have anything to add?
There is one person that not many people know about. Well, at least I haven't seen many people talk about him. Alex S. has a little brother. I'm 90% sure it's a little brother. He's 14, and he's a great artist. And on the top of my head, I cannot think of the name of his YouTube account, but I will have him post it in his description of this video that you're watching right now. He is an amazing, amazing artist, and for his age, blew me away.
All right. So there you have it. We have our new to the fandom, fanfic recommendations, music recommendations, and of course something for new and old bronies alike to enjoy. Alright, every pony, that's about all the time we have for today, and as signaled by the music, much like winter, it's time to wrap this show up. Music credits in order go to Tombstone for his Worlds Collide remix, Gabriel Brown's Are You Proud to Be a Brony, Alex S's 20% Cooler, the remix, Mike the Microphone's Been Dreamin', the rap song, Tombstone's Discord remix, and Mando Pony and Acoustic Brony's Loyalty song. Thank you every pony for listening in, and we hope to see you again next time. As always, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic is the intellectual property of the Hasbro Corporation. Please take note that the name Brony Zone and this podcast are my intellectual property and should not be used without permission. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay strong and brony on, every pony. This is Black Cloak Brony from the Canterlot Tower, signing off.